Hello everyone, it's Berserk40k, it's CommunityTable, it's great veterans that we are going to talk with, it's Battle of Titans project. Hi and hello to everyone, to every single person, to every wanderer that came by and wanted to see something or hear something. You won't definitely see anything because it's rather a podcast rather than a video. So you can so anyone who wants to hear anything about the Testflight version, participate in the discussion and tell Sergey the last words about about the upcoming live updates. You are welcome here. Today we have great people talking with us. Today we have great veterans of the Battle of Titans project, content creators, administrators and moderators, worthy man. Yeah. So, let me introduce the guys you already know for sure. It's Zolty the Hyena. Say hi to him, the chat, please. Yeah, Zolty, say hi. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So, a great content maker, a great Hyena, and a great Zolty. Yeah. You told me I can introduce yourself, you all, so you already know how it works. So, yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Hi, Salty. Glad to have you here. Cairo, a great, the great moderator, administrator, and just a wonderful guy. Cairo, say hi to Cairo, everyone. Say hi to Cairo. Yeah, claps to
Hello.
him. Claps to the Cairoest of Cairos. Maximus Legion, the great content maker, one of my most favorite streamers, the guy who makes Spanish even more beautiful. Yeah, and the administrator of the Spanish community. Say hi to him, chat.
You probably couldn't hear it, but everyone just started shaking their maracas in
Yeah.
chat.
So we should definitely yeah I have published it. Everywhere. So yeah, people will join us. So Maximus again. Claps to Maximus. Yes, is someone ringing a small bell? Yeah. So okay, that's fun. Yeah, that's actually fun. Some music. People say that my streams lack music, and thank you guys. You have my back. Yeah. So okay, we also have a great Chinese representative, wonderful translator, brilliant, just a brilliant guy, CBK rep. Say hi to him, claps to him, everything. You already know what to do.
Hello.
Yeah, hi rep. And also we have our great friends, our Spanish moderator and administrator, a great translator, just another guy who makes Spanish even more beautiful. Pat Hyperion. Yeah, say hi to him and claps to him. He will be talking to us and with y'all via the chat mostly, but also with microphone, as I believe. Yeah.
Hey guys,
Pat,
hey
glad
guys.
to have you here. So, let's say to the chat, hi everyone, Ace McQuaid, hi, LJJ1300, hi, hola bienvenido, yeah, hola bienvenido, oh, okay, I messed it up. I messed Spanish up again. Okay, so we have El Jaco VR. Hola. Yeah, so guys, we have a lot of things we are going to discuss today, and let's try to keep it brief. We have introduced ourselves. Okay, I have introduced you all. Yeah, that was terrible. So let's move to the another point. We are going to discuss the Testflight version. We are going to discuss your impressions on the on the overall the overall impression on the test flight and on particular aspects of it. So the overall impression on the test flight, the latest version of it. What do you think? What do we have? What are the pros and cons of it? What are your before going for improved team deathmatch, changed maps, still convoy, the bully, and everything? Just your overall impression. Zolty, can you, my friends, start it? What do you think?
Oh, about everything. No, I kind of enjoy Steel Convoy. Um, for me, I'm kind of like the test server is. It's been really interesting to watch, and for me personally, I feel it's as long as there are some kind of balance changes happening from 2.2.8 until the live changes. I think I'm going to be pretty pleased with the new update.
Okay, okay, that's good. I'm currently doing some notes so we could share them with our great Sergey Pavlov and and say something before he publishes the latest version to the live. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the improvements to the deathmatch. I think perhaps like the spawns, I'd like to see like a little bit more work on the placements of the spawns. Like for instance, I haven't had a single game on the Arctic map in 2.2.8, and that's just frustrating. But I presume other people have been able to play the Arctic map in
Mm-hmm.
2.2.8.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
haven't.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you very much. Okay. Firstly, I heard sponsors. And I was okay. I missed several days in development. I was on a business trip, and I thought something like we already have sponsors. Why didn't Sergey tell me anything? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you personally have sponsors. Okay. So we yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
said
I'm
spawn
joking. I'm
sites.
joking.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Misheard
yeah,
you
okay,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Zolty, thanks. So, Cairo, could you kindly be the second?
All right. Well, overall first impressions were really good. The steel convoy sort of surprised me because it was executed pretty beautifully. I didn't think it was going to be as impressive as it was when we first started playing the test flights. And wow, the improvements from there just got even better and got people excited seeing this new animation for a dropship. But what concerned me was later on the bounce started to change drastically. We started seeing things like the cormorant getting significant changes that make the overall feel of the gameplay a little different to say the least, because there's a lot of things that make it a little overpowering now, and I think that also plays a role with how people like to use like heavy titans, for example, because now that you have some objective to go after, it's going to just be a beeline rush for that objective, and things like the Nelly are going to have a really hard time, catching up to that kind of sort of objective. So, for example, when we have things like Mangler Nellies on the field, they really don't fare that well against these builds with Tormentors and Lights that are able to sneak around corners, kind of hide behind the convoy. It really makes it difficult to really say if the balance is really well because we're still struggling getting an active player base in the game as is. So what I really want for it to happen is to see if they can still optimize how the flight works for the Cormorant, because I don't like that it drops and instantly is able to deploy its weapons. It has done it more good than any kind of nerf supposed to do, because it's supposed to act like a nerf. If anything, the 4 seconds are supposed to act against it. But right now, it's kind of giving it an excuse to be able to deploy weapons and just bombard people with sarissas, hammers, anything in the air, and quickly get back up before those 4 seconds are even done. And you would think the vulnerability would be the best, contradiction to that, but it really doesn't leave that much room to be vulnerable. And by then you hit the ground, you've already done a lot of damage. So I just think that needs to be optimized a little bit. and the might as well. There's a lot of things where the might feels like a tank, and it really shouldn't for a light. It's supposed to have superb terrain movement compared to like things like the Sean and the Bully. Saying that the Sean really feels like it's not doing that well against it because it's using terrain and movement that just have overall positioning advantages, and its low profile helps it even more in that case. So a lot of the times you'll see it, in somewhere cramped in a corner waiting for its next target, right? And it makes this really well seen when it's hiding behind the steel convoy because it can pretty much cling on to anything without you being able to get to it. The Sean can't really do that. It has to be aware of these mites all over it because you're looking up, you're looking sideways, when the Sean's just on the ground planted. And I don't really know if they're still working on the bully, but I really think they need to work on giving it a specific role because I don't see it doing anything differently than the Sean and the mite. It doesn't really feel like it
Yeah,
really
Cairo,
plays a
that's
part.
as you all recall, my dear veterans. As you recall, that was the main idea. Bully was taken out of the game, and now, as you have already told, it doesn't. But no, no, it won't be that easy. We won't go to the fifth point of our conversation that fast. No, no. We will talk about the bully exactly, but a bit later. We will dedicate time to it, and we all will.
But my
Can
main
I,
point here is that the might should feel like it's not having these huge advantages over the other
Okay,
lights. That's all I'm
so.
saying. Because I feel like light or heavy, it still needs to have some tweaks
So
involved.
right now.
yeah. If I'm allowed to just add to what Kyra said about the cormorant, because I also feel like the cormorant now is currently really overpowered. But I really liked the cormorant mechanic in 2.2.6, where its heavy weapons came online immediately upon landing, because that I found that was pretty interesting, and I'd wish to see more of that mechanic, or that red button explore that mechanic a bit more, because I felt that was kind of interesting and not like wildly overpowered as the new bombarding cormorant is.
Gotcha, Zalti. We will talk about the cormorant a bit later, of course, and we will talk about what is better for the players and for our dear bird itself too. Yeah, but in more detail and a bit later, if you don't mind. So, Maximus. Thank you, Cairo. Thank you again, Zalti. Maximus, my friend, what
My
do
pleasure.
you think about the test flight? What is your overall impression on this? Without going into details, yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. Basically, my overall impression to the test server is a pretty good one. Um, I actually support a lot of what Salty and Kara said. So I'm basically not gonna be touching that because I pretty much have the same mindset and opinion that they do. Um, but talking my personal impression, yeah, I believe Silicon Boy was something that was completely needed to this game mode. It brings out the rush, the different dynamic that, for example, streamers like myself can bring out to the audience and entertain the audience a lot more. Because audience these days are more exposed into more faster, more dynamic action and activity, and having the old team deathmatch was a very slow pace type of it. So on that point, I really like it a lot. It brings new life to the game. Just the overall fact of bringing new content, bringing new life to the game, plus this game mode also does it. So now the things that I will definitely will like to see be improved. Uh, yeah, is basically game balance on certain titans, as a probably Cormoran, Bully, and Might. One of the things that I might fear a little bit is the EMP that might be now be a little bit overused, since a lot of people might start going around just trying to EMP you just to get scored. So that's another thing that it might be good to actually have a little bit of look into it. But overall, I believe this test server has been a great success and is gonna bring a completely different new life to the game.
Thank you, Maximo. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, we have Rep. Rep, could you share your opinion on the test flight? How did you like or didn't like uh, the the test flight?
Okay, so oh, last is the hardest. Um, First, I would agree to uh, mo mostly Cairo's summary that this new mode would give out a different um, type of focus. Uh, I mean that it has a different objective. So the use of Titans would be different, and which basically can uh, make players to come up with a whole possibly new different hanger compared to the team deathmatch, and that will be one of its effects. And for others, I would agree with the Cormoran and Might being uh, a little overpowered. And I would say this new test server it gives out it is giving out more uh, vari- vari- okay. I hate my English.
You don't
So
tell me.
um
I know. Myself. Yeah.
yeah, I really apologize for this. So anyway, this let me try this again. So the new test server also gives out some varieties, such as we're trying to make leg armor and weapon armor better. And I also worry about EMP being overused because so far it gives out a lot of score even in team deathmatch. So that is one of my concerns. And that should be it.
Gotcha. Gotcha, mate. Thank you very much. I won't apologize for my English. Okay. Because you already know about my English. So, yeah, Rep, thank you. Pat, will you be able to talk a bit? I know you have already told you won't be in comms, but apparently uh, you did it and you said hi in the voice chat. So yeah. Okay. Uh, but I believe as soon as you have anything to say, interrupt me. Pat, interrupt me as soon as you can. So don't mind. Don't mind it. Okay. So we have done a small intro about our impressions. About let's talk about the team deathmatch. How did it change? Did it change for better or not? What was what are the changes to the maps and were they good to us or not? And everything. Okay, okay. We currently have a small uh, dating in Discord, I believe. Yeah, because we all say good things to each other. Yeah, we love each other. Yeah. Okay, that is how it works. That is how it works. Okay, Adam, hi and welcome to the stream. We will answer it shortly about the roadmap for me. I have something to say to you. Rishabh Jain, 2 a.m. here. Never left porn so fast for the stream notification. Never in my life have a single lady said these good things to me. Yeah, never. Okay, okay, that was the best. That was the best words a person said to me. What about you guys? Have anyone left porn this fast for you? Okay, no, okay, that's going too far for the official stream. Okay, but Rishabh, you are in my heart too. Let's be honest, in our hearts. So, Doctor Evil, hi. Okay. So about the maps and the influence of the maps about their influence on the team deathmatch. What do you think? How did it improve, or, for example, vice versa? Um, Something bad happened to Team Deathmatch in the new update. What do you think? Zolti, we are starting with you again, if you don't mind. We have like a queue, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all, man. No, I actually like the new maps and I like the improvements to the maps. And I like the choice of spawn points. I find them really. I'm not like 100% sold on the placement of the spawn points in team deathmatch on the new maps. Especially because I haven't been able to play the Arctic map yet, so I don't really
Yeah,
know how the
yeah.
changes looks there. So yeah, but I feel that the spawns that exists they are very good. But maybe there should be like one more spawn somewhere, or like yeah.
One more. Yeah, okay. Okay. Uh,
Yeah, like a little bit more central spawn or something. No, I don't know. I haven't really given it much thought. I'm not like really good at designing levels and stuff. I'm just feeling like yeah, I like that there are more spawn side points to choose between, but maybe there are other placements of these spawns
oh,
that
okay.
are better.
Okay, I see that.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm saying that it would be nice to
Mm-hmm.
experiment a bit with
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha, mate. Gotcha. Okay. So, do you have anything?
Those for desert, they work tolerably fine, by all means.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Gotcha. So Cairo, will you add anything to it, or are you waiting for another spawn area? Do you think maybe something needs to be changed too, besides it, or do you? Mm-hmm.
The balance overall for the maps is
Uh-huh.
good. I think that's fine. But the only thing that would concern me is the center spawn for the turpits for Steel Convoy and the ones for the sides in the desert map. They feel a little awkward, and I really think they could work on that positioning a little bit, making it a little more, your where you're going is a little more obvious rather than like, oh, I'm gonna just keep running into walls because I'm going in this weird direction and you know it kind of collides with the big wall and the mountain, and it's weird and awkward. Like for example, it's uneven for both teams' sides. Like you're closer to one end than the other. I feel like it should be a little more just even
Okay. Are
throughout.
we talking about both maps? I'm.
Like the pathway
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the
Uh huh.
turpits
Uh huh. Uh huh.
specifically.
Okay.
Like for instance, we'll see on one side it's a little closer on I don't know what side, probably call it like left on the desert, but on the other side it's farther. So you're kind of like you have a small disadvantage there. It's not going to play any major role at all. If anything, if you have it, you've basically got it. There's nothing that's stopping you. It's if anything, you've got like 2-3 steps extra. That's it. So it's not going to ruin the game or anything. But I think if you want to keep it like as good as possible, it definitely needs to there needs to be work around the immediate area of the turpits and where it is because even though it's supposed to be a little challenging to find, it shouldn't be impossible to get around certain objects. Like for example, and the Arctic map, it's really awkward where it's placed in the center, where one side it's kind of open, on the other side you have to work around a little tower.
Okay, so the center is awkward on the Arctic map. Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. In the chat, please tell whether you think so or not. And yeah, answering your question, Zolti, yes, we will play. We will play, but a bit later. There are too many things we should be. We should answer. You should answer. Why me? No, I will ask the questions. No. Uh,
Oh, wait. One
um.
more thing.
Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
finish. On
Sorry.
the outskirts of the desert, yeah, yeah, on the outskirts, it's a little just plain and open. There really isn't anything to do out there. I would like to see some sort of implementation to see buildings and other things outside of the wall and the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Agree on that.
I agree on
Okay,
that.
so that's vote up by Zolti, by Rep, yes, and who else? I heard Maximus, right? No, it wasn't him. Okay, it wasn't him. Okay, so I hear that. That's noted. Okay, okay then. Good suggestion then. Good suggestion then. So, Cairo, do you have anything to say? Do you have anything else? Okay,
Nope,
okay,
that's it.
thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Okay, Maximus, what do you think about the maps? Do you think about the
Yeah.
influence of them on the team deathmatch and everything?
Well, if we're talking about team that mentioned Silicon Boy at the same time, when it comes to like the maps, I also like how they work around it. The new patch that they actually did. Um, I remember probably like my first week that we tested the Silicon Boy. I said that it does actually. I mean, the new pass actually give the option to the player to whether they can decide whether they can go a little bit more risky, but it's actually shorter to the a score zone, or or whether they will go for a safer way, but they will have to go and take a longer route. So to me, that's definitely really good because you actually give an option to the player to whether which one they want to do at the moment. When it comes to team deathmatch, additional drop points, I did play the RQ map. Um, Not really sure about the other 2 points of the RQ map. But the last time that I actually got to play, the other 2 points were pretty much close to the enemy respawn location. So um, yeah, in team deathmatch, the dynamic is a little bit more different. It will be good because in the aspect, yeah, you will see more action and everything, but at the same time, you have to understand that there will be players who like to play the support style, and pretty much having those two locations rest right next to the respawn location, pretty much restricted that to a point that then support players won't be able to support because as soon as somebody from the enemy team end up dying, they will have the potential to respawn right next to the turf pits or right next to the Mouse Harissa, and then with a brawler Titan, they will take them out really quick. So I'm not sure about those two. About the two the desert map, yeah, I do like them. Actually, it brings it to a little bit faster. Um, yeah, pretty. It brings a little bit more speed to the dynamic of the game. So I do like those two, but the one in the arc map, I'm not sure. Um, when it comes to the Silicon Boy, yeah, minor things like what Kyra said about what Titan combo is plays, and maybe having 2 or 3 steps in advantage to your enemy. Maybe as at a casual level might not really impact too much, but at a competitive level, it will. Like just having just 2 or 3 step, or even even
Mm-hmm.
1 step more, might have a difference to the outcome, to whether my team get to capture the Steel Convoy before your team, which doesn't actually make it to a fair point. So yeah, you might that's a good thing that they might want to actually look at it. Um, and about the outbounds from the desert map, yeah, I believe they could add more things around it. But as of for now, like it's not really something that they needed to do it right now before the update comes out. Like it's not to me, at least personally, it's not a prior thing right now. Like it won't affect your gameplay at all. It just I don't know, it just will be nice maybe just to have it to the side. But yeah, that's
Okay,
pretty much it.
gotcha. Um, I I loved your point about, and it's actually a bit controversial, but it's really fun and it's how I think. Although the map got bigger, still the speed of the game, even for deathmatch, not only because of the response, but for the response too. Yeah, but because of the strategic some ways to go to your enemy via some small hidden volleys and everything, the speed of even the TTM increased to me too, and I love that it's not only me who thinks this way. Guys, maybe you support me or anything like you did with Cairo.
I have two more
About me
concerns
or test?
for the
Oh, and
test
about
flight.
test flight? No,
The
about
test flight.
me
No,
you have
no,
three
yes,
concerns.
everything
Okay,
about you.
okay.
But okay, so two things. One, I still cannot hear the voice that's supposed to play when you're taking damage on the Titans. And two, if we're ever gonna see 8 size squads, because currently it looks like it went down to 5.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, okay. So uh, about the voice. No, I will tell you more. I will tell you more about the announcers. I will tell you more a bit later. Yeah, that will it will. Yeah, I will need.
Oh, so that plays a part.
Yeah,
Wait, okay, I
yeah,
understand.
that's true.
Yeah, you guys didn't know, but he bought a DJ to announce for us. So every time you take damage,
Wiggle,
every
wiggle,
time she
wiggle.
starts
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah, something like that will be me telling wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I won't have any equipment, and I will wiggle, 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 double kill. That's terrible. Yeah, you can reinstall it now. Okay, uninstall. I mean, okay. So, Zolti has left the chat, by the way. Okay, okay. About this. Rep, please, speak your mind right now.
Okay. I so there's not much left for me to say, but I would like to um, mention again about the desert map,
Yeah.
on the desert map. So before this modification, uh, mostly you a player doesn't see anything outside of the wall or the mountainside. They tend to not see them. But after this modification, the wall is now open, and so is the mountain, and there's not much beyond them. This makes the map not. It kind of damages its integrity, and I think there might further modification might be needed for to make this thing as a whole uh, to improve it.
Okay. Okay then. Okay then. I was writing the notes. As I already told you, I'm writing the notes while you're talking about what you're talking about. Obviously, not some random notes. It would be a disaster. No. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, about the overall impression on maps, I would definitely thank you, Rap. Thank you very much. Pat, can you add anything, if possible, or not? Okay. I believe
Yeah.
Pat won't won't be talking in comms. Yet, yeah. So,
Yeah.
we okay. We have Doctor Evil. Hi.
Seems to be a
Let's say
bit
hi.
quiet.
Say hi to Doctor Evil. He joined us a bit. Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
currently, according to Cairo, I'm doing some DJ stuff. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. Probably.
I was trying to be quiet here in the background, but
Yeah,
yeah, hey.
yeah. So wiggle, hi. I'm a professional. What do you think about the? Let's pass the first question. Let's go to the second. What do you think about the TDM in the increased maps? What do you think about response and everything? Just to keep it brief and short and smooth.
I think they're good, but I think they all need, like everybody said, they need more spawn points. Like you guys had originally had 4, then you narrowed it down, I believe, to 2. I believe with more spawn points, it would make a spawn rating less likely, and people would think it's more fair. I don't know if anybody agrees on that or wants to chime in, but I think that would be necessary for something like that
I'm
and
sorry
more fun.
again. Less spawn points, yes. Oh, more.
No, more. Like you guys originally had 4, but then you brought it down to 2. I
There
think
are still
4 was a
4.
good idea.
no, it's
There's
still
still
four.
4. It's still 4.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I don't, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, when I went on there, it just seemed like it was down to 2 for some reason. Maybe I was maybe I got confused, but I think the 4 spawn points is good. The more spread out they are, would be a very good
Yeah,
idea.
and that's actually four. Yeah.
Yeah, so it starts with 2. And then I believe when one has to select the second titan, it becomes
Yeah,
4.
I think we're in a
Yes.
good spot right now. We don't want to go
yeah.
overkill.
No,
Something.
Yeah,
agreed.
we're in a good spot.
You don't want to have spawns
Yeah.
behind the enemy lines.
Rep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
Rep.
don't. Yeah, you don't.
Mm.
That's the reason.
In
Yeah.
my opinion, at most one more spawn, like way behind your own line somewhere, just to give you a better choice of where
Yeah.
to drop.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're saying 5 spawn points?
Yeah,
Maybe 10.
maybe. Like that's what my gut instinct says, but I don't know if that's right. You
Gotcha.
know.
Rep, you wanted to add something. We have interrupted you. Sorry. So.
Only thing I can add is yes, the C and D spawn points for both maps are a little too close to the front, and I agree on the part that there can be an additional spawn point, far back, but it doesn't have to be 5. For example, we can just at the front relatively to 3 and add 1, or just move 1 to the back. That is also applicable.
Mm-hmm. 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 So Evil, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that's a good idea, but I still think you should have it at 4 spawn points just to have that more versatile ability. You know, like when you're dropping in, you like say they're all at your back spawn point, you'd be able to still spawn in behind the mountains or whatever and come in on them as they're trying to kill your friends and whatever. This way, you have that a little bit of an advantage. I think that was a really good idea, and I had a lot of fun with that. But I mean, if anybody else wants to chime in on that.
Chat, what do you
Chat,
still
guys
can
yeah,
do
think?
that.
chat. What do you think? And by the way, I promised Adam. I promised Sia. What about the roadmap for May? Actually, the as we have already finished or almost finished with TDM discussion, I will tell you. So about the roadmap for me, the only thing we are waiting right now is some translations plus um, some additional. So the build is finished. We are waiting for the translations from our dear volunteers. There are three languages that we need to three translations with that we need to finish. Plus, we need to update the game on the yeah, okay. We need to update the game on Google Play and App Store. That will take us several days for sure, because the update will be fat in the means of megabytes. So yeah, that will be it. And I will tell you a bit more. I'm sorry, my dear colleagues from Red Button. I will spoil you. I will spoil something. So I
Good, good. Keep going. keep talking. I like where this is
okay.
going.
Don't
Okay,
stop.
and you all interrupting my good, don't stop. Good, good. Okay,
Do it.
Rishabh, probably you haven't closed. Okay, something that you've changed at the beginning to our stream. Yeah, it didn't go anywhere according to the voices of my good friends. No, actually, I have met the person who is responsible for the new map, the Mars. We have already talked a bit. We have already shared our.
Oh no way. Oh, I love you. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, too many I love you for today. Okay. Okay, and we have already discussed something big. We have already discussed something big, and I'm currently tomorrow. You will see the update for the the lore, the lore. Firstly in Russian, then in English. In several days it will be in English. Tomorrow it will be finished in Russian. In several days in English. I will ask my good friends Zolti, Cairo, Dave, and everyone, Maximus, of course, and Pat, to read it as native speakers, to read it in English, to edit something probably, and we will publish it on the news website, which is already finished. Yeah, it is currently being transferred to our hosting, and yeah, it isn't translated to English yet, but we will translate it to I will translate it to English in several days. But it is finished. I can already like I believe tomorrow, when a day after tomorrow, when it's finished being uploaded to the hosting, I will be able to share it with you only in Russian, unfortunately, but the translation will come soon. Yeah, it already has the forum implemented, the stream of the day implemented, and everything. So yeah, there will be a fun feature I will introduce to you about the stream of the day, where you will be able to vote for the streamers you wanna see on the official page of the Battle of Titans. And it, of course, it will have some contests. Yeah, of course, it will have some contests you will be able to like participate in. Yeah. So, yeah, and yeah, that is it. That is it. Not everything I wanted to tell you, but
That's
I
awesome.
don't want to be fired. Uh,
Yeah, so the question that everyone else is thinking is, if my mic jumps, is it just going to keep
what
going
exactly? Who? Am I?
in space on
What? I'm
Mars?
sorry?
Okay, so when the mic jumps
Oh,
and it's
okay.
on
Yeah.
Mars, will it just
Yeah,
keep going?
it will go.
It's a
As far
It
as
joke.
will go
gravity
to
goes, I got
Phobos.
you.
It will go to Phobos.
You jump once and there you're gone.
Yeah.
You're out of the map.
Is there gonna be so? Is there gonna be a different type of gravity on that map, or no? Is
Oh,
it gonna
that
be the
will
same?
Sergey
I think
will
that's what he's
answer that
asking.
question. Cairo has,
Surprise
has
guess.
got a cough.
I mean, I'm,
I can't stand it
I mean,
anymore. A
I'm kind of
heart
guessing
attack.
like,
No, no, no.
yeah. I mean, I'm kind of guessing that they probably might have like a future man Mars when it's actually ready terraform and the gravity obviously is weaker than the Earth, but it does have gravity. Because otherwise, that would be definitely
you
really
need to
funny.
do you
Is to
Yeah,
see
need
a
to
chunk like
it would be a
gone.
great
you
I mean,
April
need
Fool's joke.
to do the guest. We have an April's joke for the next year already. I have already invented it.
Oh, I love you already, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna put that on my calendar.
You guys plan ahead.
It's
What's the
probably gonna be a
location
pink
on
It will
Mars?
be a
turpits, isn't
cylinder
it?
for your Sean. No. You know, that will be fun actually.
You know, it would be cool though to see the Martians' homeland and see some of the technology put onto the map related to how they're, how they appear because they're all
Um,
black and they have
Absolutely,
their.
I
It would
agree
be nice to
100%.
see that
I
kind of
don't
tech
wanna
on the map.
I don't wanna put any. Yeah, no,
Spoil
not
it.
the spoiler. No, it's already. I
But
have already done spoilers. The worst thing I have done, I have already done it. No, the worst thing is
Is there a certain location that you have
the
it
no
based?
the worst spoiler that would be a spoiler for the Game of Thrones, but I won't do it. Has
Okay.
anyone watched it? The
No.
watch
Game
what?
of Thrones. Really?
Oh
Oh yeah,
no,
You
no, no,
will be
absolutely,
no.
punished for
absolutely. I've
that
watched
one.
everyone from the first to the end.
Sorry.
Oh, this is
Berserk, I'm with
awkward.
you
I
with
have to
Game of
catch
Thrones.
up
I've watched the
overnight
first to
now.
the
I'm
end.
never gonna make it.
Okay. I'm joking. I'm joking. But actually, okay. I would love to talk with you about the Game of Thrones, but we will do it on our special podcast afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't you know that the new music for the Hatner will be din 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 din
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, minus ears of our listeners because I was singing. Okay, and we've lost several viewers after I sang. Yeah, 300 unsubscribed. Okay, that's fair.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
spoilers table.
spoilers
I'll
table.
be your host.
No, actually, let's not go off topic. I hope that the guys came to the social media and started discussing that he can sing, or at least about the map. Yeah, that I spoiled something. Yeah.
You didn't sound so
Yeah.
excited about the map.
Okay, about the thing that you've told me the Martian prototypes,
Hmm.
they are like they were created in the past, so they were created a long time ago, and that is why they won't be sold in the game. The Martian prototypes that you see, like the Sean, the Nelly, the Terp, they are very limited because they were only the prototypes, and they didn't
Were they Germans? I'm just kidding.
ouch.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
I believe I believe it's the time we say goodbye to Cairo. Okay.
All right, that's all,
Okay.
guys.
No. Okay. Okay. I believe we will have the next point getting spoken about. So, and the next point is still convoy in particular. It is still convoy, and what do you think about it? How do you think? What improvements do we have to implement? What things do we need to change, or does it have everything we already need? What is it about? Still convoy.
Still convoy? Just the balance of it?
Not the name,
It
of
seems
course.
pretty good
Yeah.
as is, really.
What do we need? Still freaking convoy.
I mean, what can you really change to make it still convoy? It's gonna still have an objective.
No, I meant okay, maybe you will implement. Okay, okay. Let's start with Zolty. If Zolty doesn't mind that.
Yeah, no, I don't mind, man. No, I like Steel Convoy as it is. I feel first and foremost that the scoring system still might need a bit of work because that feels really off. out in the left field. Like some games you score like 10, 15,000 points, and other games you score like 3,000 points.
Mhm.
And so that part of the equation still might need a bit of polish, but otherwise I think it's an engaging game mode, and yeah, it might still have a few hiccups here and there that I can't remember at the tip of my tongue, but yeah.
I think a few people will mention the fact of the EMP was overpowered in the scoring, so I don't
Maximus
know if they
has
fixed that or not.
already told about the
Yeah.
EMP being overpowered, but we will talk about it after Carol and others, including you, Dave. Uh,
Yeah, but it's not that the EMP is overpowered. It's just that it gives an insane amount of points for the score. So it's not the EMP itself that's a problem. It's the scoring of Steel Convoy, the game mode. So
Agree on
please
that.
don't go out there and nerf the EMP,
EMP.
because that the EMP is fine.
If
So
anything,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
give it
It was
some
the
love
Carol.
and
scoring.
make it
That's
so
what
when
I.
we
Wait a minute. Okay.
okay. If anything, do make the Fulgur show your radius when you're holding the button, though. It would help
Oh,
so much.
Yes, agreed.
that's fun. That's fun. That's fun. That's
Okay,
That would be a
so
very nice feature.
yeah,
Yes,
for
everyone would like that, even
No, that's
especially
all I
new
was saying was
players.
as far as the EMP and the scoring. That's all I heard complaints about, and that's all that I saw. I mean, other than that, I agree with everybody else. I mean, it seems pretty balanced. A few things could be polished, but that was the only thing that I really heard that was a concern.
I'm sorry. It was maybe it's only for me. Probably it's only for me. But it was hard to hear. What was your only concern?
It was
Scoring.
just the scoring for the EMP. That was the only
Okay.
thing that I
Sorry
saw.
for.
Yes. Other than that, everything else
Sorry
is good.
that needed to re-ask it. Okay, so it will be it for you three, Maximus. What do you? Okay, Zolty is already broken something. Breaking something. Yeah, I hate this scoring. Hulk crush.
Yeah.
No. Okay. We are like Avengers, but really bad
just
Avengers.
to finish off what I
Okay.
was saying earlier, though,
Okay.
I still think though, like if we're gonna have more game modes, it's gonna be obvious that the balance is gonna have a swift change. Like everything's gonna change that dynamic, and if something's gonna be different other than just straight up matchmaking, deathmatch, then of course there's gonna be favorism for different titans. That's why I think it'll probably just be a good idea that when we have more hangers to choose from, it'll sort of alleviate that issue a little bit more. We know what's going to be the best for each type of game mode, but we should be able to choose what we want to play for that game mode. Right now, we're kind of stuck going either more favorited for favorite. I don't know what to say. For deathmatch or for steel convoy, but we can only drop in one hanger. And if it's going to be randomized, we might be at a disadvantage sometimes, and that could be more often than not, depending on how random it is. So I think it'll really help that we can choose our hanger setups before
Exactly,
we drop.
exactly, and that is what we were talking about for quite a long time. Yeah, and that.
Yeah. But the balance will continue to change drastically. So I don't think we can really eliminate that
Oh,
problem
the
completely.
the the balance.
If anything, we can line it up as much as we can because there will be times where, oh, this thing's not supposed to be so good. It's supposed to be as good as
Every
everything else, you know?
titan, every module, every weapon, every mode, and the map will change something drastically. Yes, that's for sure, and that is why
Absolutely.
um that is why it is obvious. We need to accept that the changes will come over and over again in almost each iteration of the builds of the game builds. We will be changing something according to your feedback, both vocal feedback and the one in social media, and the feedback from the games of your the statistic that we receive from the client of the game. So yeah, Maximus, thank you, Cairo, thank you, Evil and Zolty. all three of you. So Max, what do you think about Steel Convoy?
Yeah, yeah, Silken
Yeah.
Boy, like I said pretty much before, and like everybody has been saying it. Yeah, I mean it's just a score system. Like overall, the game mode, as I said before, is very good. Uh, uh Also in the desert map, not really too much in the Arctic map, but in the desert map, I actually like the new paths open. It actually gives you the option to whether you go to a more risky uh route or a more safer one, but it also has its pros and cons. Um, and I loved it, and that obviously the dynamic that he brought to it. I think as players, we haven't really untapped the full potential of the mode because it's not the same thing as, oh, you take a random players and a random players and you put them to play together and whatever it comes out. No, I believe like the full potential at a competitive level of that mode will come out as soon as actual clans start having their own strategies and they go out into the game and they start playing and applying those strategies. So I believe as of for now we haven't seen the full potential yet of the Silcon Boy, but as of for now, I have to admit that the game was really well done. Um, so yeah, it will be just a scoring system and what Kyra brought about before about the two or three more steps that the other team might have an advantage. It will change, impact the outcome of the battle. Maybe not a lot, but at least it will give a quicker capture for the other enemy before the other enemy actually get it. Um, so that pretty much will be like the enemy closer to the steel convoy will be able to capture it first, and then the other team only option will be just to then stop it. It will always it will pretty much always will run that role, and it shouldn't be like that. But other than that, yeah, I believe that's also great. And adding just a little bit about the extra hangers. Yeah, I also believe that. I believe like three or fours. I saw in the run mat that they talk about three hangers. But either four could be really fine because we have to take in consideration that you are going to be bringing all the different modes plus different maps. So that actually has a big role and big weight when it comes to strategy based on which mode you actually enter or which map you actually end up playing. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely needed.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thanks, Maximum. Thank you very much. Yeah, I believe the potential, the increased potential of Steel Convoy will definitely come after the introduction of the clan system that and more with the custom games when the players will be able to train this this mode exactly. So yeah, that so that it won't be random and everything, and the teams will be able to play in the teams they want exactly, and against the teams they want exactly, experience the new like team on team strategies, and yeah, that will be fun, and that will bring some new, even more interesting tactics for the current mode of ours. And yeah, hi to everyone on the chat. We all read your comments. We all read your comments. As you see it, some of us answer, some of our veterans already answer you, but I will tell hi exactly to Atlant, привет, как дела? Фальдемар, приветушки. P2 the J2, hi. Welcome to the stream. Ace McQuaid says, what is everyone's view on the Steam changes? Good point. We will talk about it after the bully, when we will talk about the modules and everything that was changed also. Yeah, we will talk about scenes in particular. MJ Muchazol, hi. About spawn points, how about area on the map big enough so you can tap in few plays? Do you mean so it will be a big area where like how exactly is it implemented, guys? I'm sorry. Before we have rep, yeah, that will answer right now about the steel convoy, and you guys now think about the what didn't I understand. You think about what I didn't understand, okay?
Okay, so he's saying like a section on the map. Let's say it was highlighted blue. All of that area, that sector of the map, you could click and then you would drop there. Instead of just it being points, it would be like a whole area.
And what?
And anywhere within that area, you
Okay,
could just
okay,
drop.
that's okay. That's I understand. Okay, then it was something that I understood from the very beginning. Okay, I thought it's more complex, something more complex. Okay, but okay. Will we benefit, or will the players benefit from it?
I just
I
imagine
don't
like
know,
Okay,
but
people
think about
dropping
you
on top of
can
Absolutely.
towers.
okay.
Absolutely.
you can drop on the building.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
possible,
yeah,
it's
right.
possible.
Yeah, and
But
A turpets on top of the thing monolith.
yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah, that definitely would be fun. Yeah, and dropping on the buildings, we should definitely add pickaxes so you could farm some resource. No, that was somewhere in the other project. No, oh,
Oh, drop AI as
no, no,
well.
no.
That sounds
I'm joking
interesting.
about Fortnite.
Just
Jokes
right in
about
front of you.
Fortnite, guys. You, we can spend a single week without it. Okay, Domino, hi, welcome to the stream. So, Rep, what is your impression on the Steel Convoy? What do you think?
Uh, well, my impression is very similar to others, but there's one thing that I wonder. Uh, I have no subjective opinion on that. I worry about its attract. Sorry, there's wind. I worry about its attractiveness to all range of players. So it is very different from, for example, low end to high end to meta games, and this game mode would be interesting for, uh, as far as I know, we are interested in it, so it would be high end or possibly meta games, but I'm not sure if this game mode is put into when it's put into the game, what will the uh, players at all different levels consider about it? Like think about it. Uh, there might be different responses, and uh, it might. Yeah, that is one of my concerns.
Uh,
If I am correct, I do believe they're going to separate this from certain tiers from new players to a certain
yeah,
level of
Dive.
cup
Yeah,
players
yeah,
and
that will
above.
be.
No, I didn't say this. It's possible to happen, but I didn't say
Dave.
that. If this is if this is attractive to all range of players from, for example, possibly 900 to 1800, it would be great. But I'm just not sure that how less
I'm
experienced
sorry.
players would think about it.
Let me interrupt you. Dave said right. It will be 1200, 1200 and a half. That will be the
50.
starting point for you to be able to join the
I
Steel
see.
Convoy.
Yes,
Yeah,
that makes
I'm
sense.
sorry for the interruption.
Okay, I missed it. Well, thank you
And
for.
thanks to Dev. To Dave. To Dev. Yeah, thanks to me. Again.
Yeah.
No.
Only other thing I would mention though that would be really cool though is if there was an option. I don't know if you guys are going to implement that when you guys do release this mode. If there was an option to choose between which mode that you're going to play, or if it's just going to be random as you drop. I think it would be really beneficial if you can choose the mode that you want to play rather than just random drop.
Okay.
That's
I
all.
would agree.
And you
Agree
agree
on
on
that.
that? Who? Okay. Dr. Evil said. Rep voted up. Cairo, Maximus, Zolti. What do you think? I will put it in the documents.
Well, in my case, I do agree with Dr. Evil, but as of for now, from the base player that we have,
If
I
you're
don't
looking
think
for
we are
player
gonna
base,
do it.
then yes, you're going to want to mix everything together, and I understand that. But until it starts to expand, I would definitely recommend to be able to break it up if you wanted to. Otherwise, there should be another option to be able to have all those modes into one random drop button, and then still have the option to random drop into a
Well,
specific mode if you want.
Dave, you are talking too
well, I
fast.
mean, what
Okay,
I
okay.
mean,
No.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Go
Everything
ahead.
is all right, but you breathe sometimes. Okay, so I need to write everything down, please.
I mean,
You breathe
No,
too much.
I actually,
You
I
can't
actually
breathe.
see that we have a DJ, we have a rap god. What else do we need? Okay, okay. Uh,
So what I'm saying
so
is, if there's a couple different options, so there's one option to where you can hit random drop and it'll put all those modes in that random drop. That's one
yeah.
button you can press. And then another two buttons you can press, or say three, one for like, random, and then you got another one for your team deathmatch, and then another one for your um, steel squad or steel convoy.
Okay. Maxi, you wanted to Maximus. You wanted to add something to oh
yeah, basically, yeah, I support the
the
evil
evil
idea.
idea. I love it. Yeah, the
It,
evil idea.
Thank you, buddy.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, you think about it, it's actually really good because you can actually call it like quick match. Just have like a quick match bottom that allows you to jump into the server and whichever one of those modes are the one that has more population of players, that's where you're gonna be headed. Uh,
Exactly.
but in the case that you literally just want to play Steel Convoy, then you are not going to be restricted to just let the system decide to whether you can play um, Convoy or Team Deathmatch as of for now.
Exactly. And
Uh,
the only downfall is you'll have a longer wait time for
Yeah,
doing
and
that. That's all.
evil has already told
yeah.
the no. I will let Zalti and Skyro say it first. Zalti, please. I am Cthulhu when I summon you right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're kind of stuck with having to force. I think I don't see a way out of having a random game for yeah, let have a random number generator decide what game mode you're going to be playing until you get a significant amount of players playing.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Cairo.
Personally, I'm okay with either or. It really doesn't
Okay
matter to
then.
me as
Okay,
much.
thanks for the votes. Thanks for the votes. But evil, Doctor Evil. I'm sorry for not mentioning Doctor. So Dave said about just fine about the overall con to it. Why can't we implement it right away? Because right now it's the players base um, that we need to increase first, so we could separate people from each other, so it would be like, okay, you
Yeah.
will wait longer but still you will be able to play with the real people. And yeah.
Well, you'll be able to play that exact mode that you want to play. You just have
Yeah,
to wait
yeah,
longer rather than doing a
yeah,
random quick
yeah,
quick
Dave. Yeah,
match.
that's it. That's it. Okay, So, I believe we have. Hi, Nova Legend. Hi. Привет, Черемишин. So, about this steel convoy mode, uh, I should mention, you have already done it, but I should mention it as a separate sub point. You have already said that some titans have advantage over the others. From the as you may recall from the internal tests that we've conducted, and from the internal tests with some of you, we have experienced that some titans, not the one that we have currently named, yes, Cormorant and Might, it was Nelly. No, it was Nelly and a Might. Yes, it was a Nelly and a Might that were overpowered, considering they were like they could be heavy, they could be slow, but still you said, "Wow, guy, wow, B4K, they are really powerful, and they just I remember Cairo having some Nellies on Manglers and
I love this guy's emotions. He's amazing.
okay,
Sorry.
so that is how I lose my loved ones. This is from in the beginning. Dave said he loved me, and now it's Cairo who he loves. Okay, my heart is broken, but we'll we'll continue right now. We'll continue. Yeah.
You're cracking me up over here, Berserk. I have to mute myself. I'm sorry,
Okay,
buddy.
okay. So and right now we move to Cormorant and Might being overpowered rather than, and Nelly being quite bad, considering others. So
I'm just kidding. I was an Ellie, don't
yeah,
make it bad.
I know, bro. I know that feeling, bro. I love Nelly, so I'm one of the devs. I won't let it happen. I will make her overpowered.
Good.
In any
Glad.
case.
I'm glad my bribe went
Yeah.
through.
Okay. Your bride? No. No. Okay.
No.
Okay. So yeah, Maximus, I love you. I love you, love. So about the overpowered titans, what can you tell? You have already mostly all of you have already told that Cormorant and Might are overpowered, and I recall before moving to Moscow and for the some business things for the DevGam conference that I have attended. Most of you said that might on social media. Most of you said that mites are really bad. According to the changes to the modules that we have experienced, they suck. That's what he said. Yeah, most of you. And right now we came to the conclusion that they are overpowered, right?
I don't
Might,
recall
yeah.
any point where they were bad, except for like very early
Agree.
on when they were like not before they went through the whole dynamic like look change and stuff
Mm-hmm.
on the beta. They improved it a lot, so it's hard to say anything about it where it would have a weak point because it's fast and it can get around maps. I mean, who doesn't love
It
that?
was about movement that you, not you exactly, Cairo, not you
Yeah,
exactly, Cairo, but
but
people were
yeah,
like telling us, accusing us about, yeah.
The
but
only
it
thing I've
also
heard
has a
people.
completely different movement when it's like early on, tier 1, tier 2. It's
Mm-hmm.
different completely.
Mm-hmm. So evil, you wanted to see something. Zolty is already writing something to us.
Yeah, I see that. I hear him click clacking. I was just gonna say the only thing I heard that was like a disadvantage, and of course it's going to be complained about because the Might and the Cormorant are going to be the two ones that'll be able to get to that point faster.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about it though, if you got the team, the opposing team with fast bots too, and then that one Cormorant gets there, those say two Mights on the opposing team could totally overrun that one Cormorant that got there faster. All that thing did was just make that point visible faster, and then you guys can still win. I mean, it all depends on how you play the game. But anyways,
Yeah, but the Cormorant and the Might is still overpowered even in
Okay,
Team
that's a good
Deathmatch.
point we have come to.
Now, as far as them
So
being overpowered, as far as how?
no, I mean they are overpowered in Team Deathmatch, and then they have an unfair advantage in Steel Convoy, making them even better. So these two bots desperately need some sort of rebalancing. And let me just say once again that the Cormorant in 2.2.6 I felt was pretty decent. Not overpowered, but still
2.2.6 exactly,
pretty
yes.
decent. Yeah, when the
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
weapons got online immediately after landing.
Well, the only thing that I can kind of say without ruining the bots or nerfing the bots in Team Deathmatch, because I think they're pretty good in Team Deathmatch, depending, if you think they're still overpowered. I think they're actually pretty balanced in Team Deathmatch. When it comes to the Steel Convoy, maybe there could be some sort of restrictions, maybe no cormorants or a restricted amount of speed or something like that on the mites. This way, the bots aren't nerfed in different modes.
Well,
And
what
and then
kind
it
of bots
becomes
do you feel can compete with a heavy might and a dive bombing cormorant in Team Deathmatch?
in Team Deathmatch. It
Yeah,
depends on your skill, really. I
yeah,
mean, but
but
you
like
could take anything out. You could take them out with. You could take them out with a
no, but
Ravager.
like equally matched, man. Like if you're honest, well, would you ever run anything else except for nostalgic reasons? Because
No,
I certainly
if I had to
wouldn't.
say, if I had a
My
choice, it
hangar
was
would
definitely a might.
definitely be just heavy mites and cormorants, man.
It's just because they got that versatile movement. They can go over mountains and everything like that. Yeah. So if you're saying like maybe they need to be slowed down, but then you'd have to also think about everything you're saying about the armor that you want to compensate too. With
No,
the heavy armor, you
I'm
want to.
saying that the dive bombing cormorant kills absolutely everything except maybe the light
Who can
bots.
who can
And
tell that
well,
it's true? Who can agree on that? On the last thesis of
I can.
Salty, because that's a very important thesis.
I
I
can
Wait,
need to
Cairo.
because
highlight.
because
Salty, I'm
you
sorry for the interruption, but I need to highlight your thesis exactly. Who thinks that the bombardment type of the cormorant is OP and it needs to and afterwards we will talk about how
Well,
it should be changed. Maximus, yes.
well, the thing. I mean, the thing about the cormorant is like because I actually had that conversation with Salty. Yeah, I mean, like it could be very disturbing and at some point kind of overpowered. But I told him, I also told him, and he was, I also explained to him. I mean, in order for you to do that, you pretty much needed to make a glass cannon. Because if you
let's
try
fire
to
up
make a
test server
cormorant,
right now. Come on, let's
Sorry, you
fire
got
up
Okay,
skipped,
test
I'm
server.
Cairo.
already in the Game
because
of
the thing is,
Thrones again because let's try it in the test server. Let's go. Okay, I already see the fight of the Rock versus the Hounds from the. Yeah, okay, I won't spoil from where, and I have already spoiled it. Oh
But
God,
also
sorry guys.
Berserk,
clip that.
Berserk.
Oh Jesus,
You'll have to
Cairo.
notice.
Let Cairo speak for a second. He was supposed to
That,
talk. I'm sorry. I'm not
and
trying to be rude,
yeah,
but he
and
was originally
Maximus
supposed to
hasn't
talk, and he
No,
and
no,
forgot.
it's
Maximus
okay.
hasn't
Go
finished,
ahead.
and afterwards Cairo, and afterwards Rep, and afterwards
Yeah.
we will come to you two fighting each other. No, okay, you are not fighting each other, but I want to bring some tension over here. I need the views. No, joking, but I really need them. Okay, Maximus.
yeah, I'm yeah, like I was going pretty much. I mean, like, I think if they probably add like maybe with the model they don't decrease it that much to the point that it's not like 1.5 second of cooldown after having full model of the restart thruster, maybe add it to maybe 2.5, then maybe that will add a different perspective to the cormorant
Not
because
at
like I
all,
said,
man. Not
Zolty,
at
because
wait a
all.
bit, please. Zolty, wait a
because
bit,
like
please. Okay, you wanna brawl?
because
I
like
know
I
you
said
wanna
before,
do some jiu-jitsu. Yes, you
yeah,
wanna choke someone to death, that's understandable.
Yeah.
We are talking
be-
about game dev. That's understandable. Yes, choking about to someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but still,
So
Maximus.
so pretty much like I was going. I mean, because the thing about it is that you needed to make it like Cormorant in order to then make it. I mean, viable in that aspect. Because then, yeah, you will
No.
have your acceleration, you will have your speed in order to then evade the enemy fire. But then if you try to do the same building with a heavy cormorant or kind of like a medium cormorant, then your acceleration and max speed will be affected to the point that yeah, you actually then become a really point blank target. So so that's one of the things. I mean, um, whether they actually decide to keep this mechanic to the cormorant, I believe like probably decreasing the amount of thruster restart that it brings, maybe to 2.5 or maybe 3 seconds only. I mean, it will balance a little bit because I mean having a light cormorant, like a very light cormorant, it's like I said before, it becomes your glass cannon. You get, I mean, you actually get a couple of shots to the cormorant, and the cormorant is already done.
Okay,
I mean, it's already out
okay. One
just with a couple
second.
of shots.
Mhm.
With the might,
Yeah, one
yeah,
second before we continue, so that so it wouldn't be like us discussing something that is already discussed by yeah, Sergey has already told me. Um, I believe I have told it somewhere on Discord, I believe, but I'm not sure where or on Facebook or somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't remember it. So Sergey said that originally the thing, so we could all understand what is in Sergey's head. Originally, the overall mechanic of you evading the fire from the enemies uh, by transforming to the ground stance in the air and then retransforming to the air stance is something that wasn't not only wasn't originally created meant to be yeah in the game, but also something that Sergey and Nikolai don't really like, and it's not how it's meant to be, and it's not really like it will be still be in the game. It's not like it still will live in the game. Yeah, so it will the cooldown probably will stay. Probably, it is very likely, but maybe we will come to the big conclusion from some of us. Yeah, uh, Zolty will tell something right now, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cause the problem here isn't
No,
the
no, 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 no.
cooldown
Sure,
on
Zolty,
the
sure. I was
transformation.
just making a small
The
note
the
just
the
for this.
yeah, the problem is being able to fire to transform in the air and
Mm-hmm.
fire your heavy weapons and on the way down. And if you can retransform, it doesn't matter if you have to wait 4 seconds or 8 seconds or 10 seconds, because the problem is you'll immediately just climb up to the ceiling again, transform and unleash your Sarissas. And you'll pack them with automations, so each Sarissa will fire at least 6 missiles on your way down. And you'll stay at 700 meters and have radar, and you'll be a horrible bot for the metagame because you're gonna kill everything that's slow. You're gonna kill every turret. You're gonna kill every MAO, and yeah, that's not gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Cairo, please.
Okay, I don't. I might as well just get on to the next
Because you
person,
don't
huh?
want to be choked to
But
death by Zolty, probably. But
okay.
yeah.
but but the cormorant, it's such a touchy thing because we all know the flying is a gimmicky thing with these games, and it's really hard to balance just for the feature to be
Yeah.
implemented to the game correctly without it being overpowering or useless to begin with. That's what it feels like it's gone through, just like every other time pretty much has gone through. It's this whole morphing of nerfs and buffs. But my point is basically if they intended it to be the heavy weapons are only supposed to be when it's grounded, then they should just do that and keep whatever they have right now. The 4 seconds, yeah, they don't want it switching around like a ninja because that animation is wonky and it's not intended to be working that way. Sure, people love to work with these gimmicky things because it adds to the diversity of gameplay, but they could always, work on that to make it smoother. It doesn't have to be that way. There just needs to be some kind of tweaks to make it as intended, is what I'm saying. So I think they should keep the 4 seconds, and I think they should keep it where when it's planted, it shoots,
Okay, only on the ground. When
rather than shooting
okay.
exactly. And then from there, see what they need to change. If there's any problems with it, then they should work from there.
Zolti
Yeah,
agrees on
agree.
that.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, we have rep. We are waiting for rep. Yeah.
Uh, I don't think I have much to say about. I mean, everyone has said what I really need to say. Um, One thing that came up
Mm-hmm.
to my mind when you guys started discussing about Cormorant is that the buff in test server on Sarisa. Um, First, I'm gonna ask a question. Um, what was the reason for that? Like, how did it came to this?
How did it come to so much debacle?
Well,
I love lamp.
Okay, well, I mean, there's always going to be some kind of two sides to any conversation related to balance because people have different experiences with different titans, and it's especially the case of the cormorant. That's all there really is to it. I mean, two sides of the same coin. You could be playing it in the same setup in the same way and still have a different opinion because you feel like whatever your brain's thinking, oh, this is a little too
Mm-hmm.
much or this is not enough, just because you have your own experience and your own, whatever you've been through in the game. It
okay,
really
I see.
impacts what you think about the game. So people are gonna, of course, they're gonna defend their opinion because they feel like that's the right thing to do. I'm no exception to that. I have my own beliefs. Not everyone agrees with that. Should we respect that? Yeah. I mean, what can we do? We can't.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
that, or you lose your
Salty,
neck.
put your bets down, please. Yeah. Okay, no, joking, joking. Uh,
But yeah, I mean, I just think they just need to continue working until they can satisfy most people, not
right
everyone,
now it
most.
is. Right
That's the
now
Yeah.
best
it
you can
is.
really do.
Right now
Yeah, I
it is
agree with
our.
that.
It is my duty exactly, and your duty exactly to bring some opinions of people. And yeah, P to the J2 agrees with Zolti. Ace McQuaid has brought up a good suggestion, but uh, I will add it a bit later. But we will. Yeah, that is why we are discussing, because in the discussion, in the argument, the truth is born. So that is, yeah, I believe I have translated it right from Russian into English. Yeah. So about the cormorants, I got it. About the might, but let's not take much time from it because we have a very big topic to talk about. Really, guys, I ask you to be very brief about the might and what can be done for it. Yeah, in the correlation in between might um, and Sean, I hear that in the correlation with the bully, we will talk about it. Like it will be the next question that we will discuss. So I request you not to talk about bully right now, just about the might. Exactly. What do you think, Salty? Uh, what do you think? Okay, P to the G2 says also just add the selection system like in PUBG. Okay. Um, and yeah, Ace McQuaid said um, they increase the no, it's P to the G2. I'm losing my sight. Okay. Yeah, there was a good suggestion. Make the corn thrusters more fragile in the air. Um, is it possible in the when we talk about the realism? Like it can be, yeah. While they are working, they really no.
I think so, but don't overdo it. Don't make it so like as soon as you
Yeah,
shoot them, their
just
crates are gonna go
the
down.
entire cormorant. How do you shoot
You
a
know what I mean?
thruster?
Just it's gonna look like a bunch of
Yeah, yeah,
birds just falling to their doom.
yeah. That will be enough.
Someone's
Yeah,
got the shotgun.
there was a fun meme about Battle of Titans, about the how was it when Nelly's jump like something. Yeah, I don't remember the meme exactly, but it was created by the players page and it was fun. It was really fun. But after, if we implement this, it will be Battle of Titans, where birds fly, where birds. No, guys, you make this meme. You make this meme, and
Oh man.
I will give 20 million to you.
White birds fly into our bullets.
Good one, good one. Okay, when birds are falling like on Thanksgiving. No, no. I won't try to be American. No, I won't try to be American. No. Okay, silence like if with all my.
So
Okay.
moving on.
Next topic.
So, you guys bring the meme about the those in the chat. Yeah, including you. You bring the meme, and I grant you 20 million. You see after this stream. About the extra vulnerable thrusters.
You really don't want me to
Oh.
make a meme.
It's just a cover up.
Okay. So, but the okay, I have already told it. We won't waste any time on that. The might, Zolty, can you be the one for me? No, can you be just the one, please?
Yeah. The heavy might
Okay.
has too much armor. The speed of the heavy might is fine, but it has too much armor, so it needs to have less armor, and that's the fix.
Okay.
And the Sean give it back the old terrain movement. In fact, give all the bipedals back the old terrain movement. It wasn't like they were really good at climbing hills anyway. So unless you did it perfectly, you'd fuck up and die, you know.
I'm
So
sorry, Zolty. I'm sorry. But as I recall, yes, the movement, the terrain movement, was decreased, but it was decreased only for the Titans that doesn't have enough speed. If it comes to the for example, if you put accelerators on your Titan, according to Sergey, as we've talked on the dev table, on the dev talks, I'm sorry, it was like if you have enough accelerators, and according to the realism, if you have enough accelerators, you don't have any problems with climbing anywhere. But still, I understand your point. That's still
no, that's not true, because I have maxed out at T3 accelerators on all my Titans, and I've had it for a while, and the bipedal movement in the terrain has changed to the detriment of bipeds. And today, with with spider bots being already supreme in the metagame, like you don't want to go against a Might or Nelly in the mountain in any bot anyway, because you're gonna lose. So give us the option to climb somewhere else than the scripted paths. That's the freedom of the game. Like when we started to play this game, it was because it had the beautiful freedom of movement and the freedom of building, and now the freedom of building has been, well, narrowed down and put behind grind or currency bottlenecks, and well, the movement of the bipeds has also been decreased. So that's taking away from like the good aspects of the game. Yeah, I don't see why one,
Noted.
but
Noted,
that's me.
Zolty. Okay, Cairo, you're the next.
Although I see, like, yes, it's gonna need some nerfs for the might, especially because we know that that whole moving around the terrain performs really well in these matches that we have, because not only do you see a lot of flanking methods, but you just get around really easily. You can jump across the map. I do think, though, whatever they do to that might, it should do some minor tweaks and then give things like the Shaw and the Bully some major buffs, because they're going to need more HP than that thing has. And overall, something that improves their areas of specialty, because we have them as runners, but we're seeing weapons become more accurate. You're seeing weapons fly off more often, but they changed that. So I'm not going to really put that as a concern right now, because the whole dynamic is now people are going to start using weapon armor more. But I do think the Sean overall needs improvements that make it better in some areas in its stats over the might, and more so for the bully over those two. If you understand what I'm saying, like, okay, so like the Sean would have 10% more at the very least in HP or armor, and then the bully would go an extra, extra, what do you call it? My English is failing
Okay,
me.
that's what I know.
Like an extra step ahead of it, basically, where it needs to have the armor that it had back in beta over the Sean, and the Sean does the same for the might, because they don't have, strictly saying, something that gives them a distinct advantage other than running around and being speedy. The might utilizes both being able to move around pretty quickly compared to medium and heavy times, but also can get to very tricky areas that make it hard to deal with. So I just think the Sean and the Bully being more vulnerable in these cases, they just need to be able to take more hits and have more survivability. But also, if the movement is a concern, just make sure that velocity of weapons aren't hitting it or connecting as much as they should not be, because their agility is everything to them.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, very good point, Caro. I agree
Okay,
completely.
so Evil, Dave, what do you think?
No, he pretty much said it. I mean, I
Cairo
agree with
for
everything he
president,
said.
as you said.
That's
+1 on that.
honestly, he said exactly pretty much what was on my mind, and I couldn't say it any better. So I mean, yes, Cairo, to you, my friend.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Okay, rep set +1 for Cairo, and it was Maximus who's telling something to us right now. Maximus, what do you have on your mind? Okay.
Kara had just said it right now.
Okay.
I'm the same. Well, I mean, I really, I really have no words
No
other than what
civil
he said.
war, no anything. Okay.
My
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, he said it perfectly. I mean, definitely the might. Uh, I mean, the biggest problem pretty much is the heavy might, as it is. Like, back when when people were trying different buildings and they were trying full light, might, and things like that. Might wasn't such a big a problem back then. But when the heavy might came online and like everybody then tried the heavy might and they actually enjoyed it, plus the heavy might was, have a good speed also, that's when the heavy might become kind of like a meta. So yeah, I pretty much agreed on the aspect of decreasing how much percentage the heavy armor brings to the might. Um, and that probably might be the fix to that, and also improve the Sean and the bully also. I mean, and since we're gonna talk about bully later, I just leave it to that subject to
Thank
that
you.
question later.
Yeah,
Not just
that
touch
you
that right
heard me. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, and actually, thank you for the answer. Yes, truly. Yeah, I asked you to to be patient right now and to wait a bit about talking about bully because um, I believe everyone will agree that there is a lot of things we need to discuss about the bully because the feedback of people it's like it's very different and some people has seen that it doesn't belong to BOT without any remastering, yes, without reworking, without being reworked. Some people say, why not? Why we should leave it be in the game, um, and some people just hated it. Okay, so there are lots of opinions, and right now we need to think about this, whether it belongs to the game or not, whether the bully has its chance to stay in the life. What do you think about it? Salty, as always, we are starting with you. As you already told me 3 times in a row, you don't mind it, so I'm not asking you about this in the fourth time.
Yeah, no, I think what Cairo suggested, like, I really like the bully, but as it is now, it's not up to speed. But I like the suggestion Cairo had of making the bully like the toughest of the three light bots, and then the Sean being like medium tough, and the Might being the most agile, being the most fragile.
Okay, so if it's, let's pretend it is implemented, Zolti. Let's pretend it is already implemented in the game. Does it still, so does it in this way? Does it belong to the game when it's the toughest above the lightest? The toughest about the lightest.
To be
Okay,
honest,
my English is failing me.
to to be honest, I think it would need like a buff to its weapons hit points as well, because it has only that single heavy weapon, and if it's shot
But
off, it's useless.
it can be
And you
an
can
it can be an increase.
I, 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 yeah, I've been trying it with 2 weapon armors and 3 weapon armors, and it still gets shot off eventually. So I think if it had like a stock 50% bonus to its
Mm-hmm.
weapons HP, that would, yeah, help significantly as well.
That was the signal that Sergey said it's the right answer. No, yeah, that was somebody else's alarm. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm noting. I'm keeping a note. Okay, continue, please. I'm sorry.
No, I was done, man.
Okay, so let's say it again. Uh, Additional stock armor for the weapon. Um,
Yeah, armor for the weapon, and make it a lot tougher because it dies too easily.
okay, okay. So, Cairo, what do you think
I do agree with
about?
what Salty's saying
Okay.
about the weapon. I do think, yeah, and the roadmap, there's a lot of things that suggest that sometimes they're going to have their own specialized weapons because they're going to play such a unique role, such as like the light flyer, yada yada. You know how it goes. They're going to have weapons that other things won't use as effectively, or it wouldn't make any sense. You don't want to be dropping mines, but you're in the air. It would be, something more sense would be like bombs or whatever. But the whole thing about it having like it doesn't make sense to give it more armor. I see the light bully as like a little rhino. It's running around. It's not jumping like the Sean. It's not climbing around like the Might. It's mostly planted on the floor, running around your enemies, taking most of the brunt of the distractions. It's going to be out there, and although it's going to be able to utilize weapons with distance involved, it really doesn't have much anything to it when it comes to armor just because it has more speed. It's still going to be points where it's going to get AMP'd, and then it's the most vulnerable out of the three all of a sudden. It really should be more stable overall. It should be able to take more hits than the other two if it's going to serve that little, tank kind of role. I mean, that's what I imagine they would go to if they wanted to be like, a shotgun or a little or Gatling, whatever they want to add to it, it should have its own thing compared to the other two. Because as it stands, when you're close enough, you're going to be hit by all these mangler lights. When it's far enough, you're going to see a lot of tormentors. It doesn't really have any impact against those two, and the weapon's just
Mm-hmm.
too vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So, So yes, it does need
Okay.
more armor.
Dave, yeah.
I just had a really good idea for a special ability for the bully. All right, so we're talking about how it needs to be a little bit stronger and everything. So as far as the special ability, what if there were like when you hit the special ability, it increases your speed like it does, and then it also puts out, say, like a shield.
The run.
Or no, yeah, seriously. But you got to think about it though. You think about it. If it puts out a
I'm
shield,
sorry,
if
the
it puts out a
cough.
shield, this way you have that extra HP only for the
This is
amount
where we
of.
sink.
I mean, that's pretty much all I can really think of, unless you're just increasing the HP, like you're saying, and that's pretty much it. But otherwise, I think it'd be a really cool special ability that people would think, like, hey, like I like this bot that much more if there was something along those lines, to where when you hit your ability, you could see some sort of an action that happens with your bot that makes it more durable for that short period of time to get back into safety. But
Well, we have to remember it's a light. So if they're going to work on anything, and especially improving the weapon, shouldn't it focus on damage?
And I'm
Like
not
damage
really.
boosts and
well,
stuff
yeah,
like
that
that.
was mentioned as well, as far as
Right?
increasing
Because you're
main
not
damage
really
by
going to want to
100%.
tank hits as a light, admittedly. Yeah, it should take more hits, but not enough where it
The
becomes the
mini
mini
troop, it's
turrets, you know?
nice. We
Yeah,
should definitely invent a skin like this.
but initiative mentioned
Okay,
that as well.
Dave, I'm not really sure about the double abilities. I'm not really sure whether they will be ever implemented. Not really sure. Right now, it won't happen for sure, and in the near future, no. About the it brings quite an OP effect to the guy. Yes, the shields exactly will be implemented, not the physical ones. I mean, the physical ones. For example, like like it
No,
was
I
in, for
understand.
example, I don't know. For the Sean, I believe we have a concept somewhere in the depth of our media folders where the Sean was like jumping around with the physical shield. Yes, but about this shield that you are mentioning, and with exactly the sprint, okay, it will be OP, I think. But okay, we are considering everything right now. We are considering everything, and the guys in the chat has already see if EF, and I don't know, it's she. Um, I don't remember the second symbol. I'm sorry, I still suck in Chinese. But I will not someday, I promise. Um, AP and HE need to balance. Now, weapon AP. Okay, we will talk in the next points. Yeah, right now it's the bully that we are currently speaking about. And Peter the J2 says, I'm not buying bully for $20. It's the time we banned Peter the J2, so he wouldn't spread these talks in the chat. No, okay, I see, I see. That wasn't planned to be implemented this way. Okay, Maxi, what do you suggest about the bully himself? Do you agree with Skyro? Do you have anything additional points to say?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely again, I have to say again, I agree with Cairo. But my main concern is still the weapon, which is something that Salty brought. And unless you put like four weapon armor into your hammer, um, eventually it's just gonna come off, like he said. Um, and the biggest concern is once Bully lost his only weapon, because that's the problem, is his only weapon. Um, then Bully just gonna be a tight end that, as much as for now, from what we have right now, is only a speedy EMP. That's the only thing you can do around with it. I mean, you will only go around and just annoying people with the EMP and be a suicidal EMP thing. That's the only thing you're gonna be able to do with
Mm.
that bully right now. Even if you bring out the durability to it to withstand a lot of damage. Um, So as it is right now, no, I don't see like a really good role to it in the game. Now maybe further down in the roadmap, if you try to look maybe at the other weapon, that one of the description was kind of like a shotgun, or like one of the machine guns, or like the self destruction system. Maybe those things might add a good role, or actually might help Bully to have a good role into the game. I don't know. Maybe you have it to be a more durable Titan, and once you get to where you want to go, then you go kaboom, and you inflict a lot of damage, right? And you got maybe the shotgun on top of you while you're running towards your enemy, and you go kaboom. But as it is right now, no, I don't see it. One thing that might suggest is that if for some reason they don't actually find a good solution to it, and they still want to implement it, what they can do is just have it as a startup line, but just instead of maybe having Ravager Mao, just have Ravager and Bully. Because at the very initial, people don't really know or have the skills to shoot off weapons. So then in that case, then Bully during that time will serve his purpose until that player eventually gain or earn the enough experience so that eventually he learns how to shoot off weapons, and then Bully just becomes just like a sighter, which is something that I'm pretty sure that's not what you guys want to do with it. But in the case of not being able to find a purpose to it and really want to bring it, then that might be, kind of like a good solution.
Okay, okay. So, that's actually a very good point. I will summarize it in a thesis, in a small thesis, that the bully will have a role when the new functions, for example, a self-destruction, some new weapons like heavy machine gun and everything, is implemented, or probably shotgun. When it is implemented, then bully will have some role to play in the team. Yes, right now it doesn't have. I will disagree with only one point of view, Maxi. I will disagree with a single point of view, that we can put a bully as a first line Titan, that the as a first line up for the players. For example, instead of a Ravager. That's according to game design, that won't happen, because as for game design, our duty is to make sure the player that come to the game, they enjoy some, for example, some medium bots with like in the case of MAO, some three heavy, three medium weapons, as in the case of Ravager, fast movements and machine guns plus a hammer above on the head of it. And for the bully, they will say, "What the, you know, yeah, what is this?"
If I may intervene, there I do have an idea, but I don't know. Like this kind of goes like out through a whim because I know you guys were talking about
Uh
redesigning
huh.
it at
Uh
one
huh.
point,
Uh-huh.
right? You said it went through a few modifications. I I've been thinking about the whole like heavier role as a light. What if it transformed like sort of like a tank style kind of thing where it takes probably 10 to 20 seconds, and that's when it gets its unique weapon, say, and it has probably several roles in that. You choose from the hanger, or a heavy gatling, or railgun, or anti-air flat, and you act as like you're strong but you're slow now, and you have to choose between these two uh, modes that you have, your speed or your damage, and you have to balance it out by planning where the enemy's going to be. Let's say they're approaching you and you know where they're going to go, then you can set up a flank where you take time to transform. Now you're a tank, and now you have these different options that go from like a mortar. And, you know, if there's a cormorant, you could be maybe you have an
I'm
anti-air
sorry,
setup.
and
It's just an
what do
idea I
you
have, but
mean
it's sort of
by
like
like let's pretend it's a siege mode. Yeah, let's call it a siege mode.
yeah.
What do you
Okay.
say it will be in the main mode, like the fast mode, and in the siege mode? What will be the weapons? The unique weapon not really
Okay.
going
So
to happen. The unique weapon. So the overall idea is that you, right now at least, maybe it will change in the future. I'm not sure. But right now that all of the weapons are interchangeable between titans. The Inquisitor will be
uh,
two, but
okay. And then in that case, what it would to say when it's in the slower mode or whatever it has, it just has
oh,
more
okay.
firepower. Let's just say that for now. Okay. And the dynamic changes depending on what weapons they have available in the
But
game. Would that be a little more beneficial as a role? Because not only can it get around very swiftly, but can also, you know, control an area very well. Because it doesn't have to be a tank in that regard. It's still like a
yeah,
glass cannon, if anything,
it
because it's
will
going to be
be
more vulnerable when
it
it's
will be
super
fun.
slow. But if it's a support, you could play it as a support. It would have the range or damage it needs, and it'd be beneficial in a lot of areas where, you know, your teammates are struggling just to get damage out there. If you can just set up this moment where, you know, they're going around the mountain and you're already set as a tank, wouldn't it be kind of a decent idea?
I
It's just me
I
kind of
personally
spitballing here,
like the
trying to think
idea
what
about the
role it could
siege
fit.
mode. I personally love the idea. I don't know whether it goes by with the bully exactly, because you should understand that adding a siege mode, for example, okay, an increase. No, let's call it a siege mode still. Yeah. But
Okay, that's fine with
although
me.
it brings firepower, not HP, it hardly goes with the overall concept of the Titan. It's a light Titan. It's still okay. No, okay. I will think about this. The firepower maybe.
Okay, well, I'm not saying make it
Mhm.
tougher in any way. I'm just saying the weapon setup and this
Yeah, like
playstyle
the
should change,
energy is
but
put
depending on how you
to
set it
the
up.
firepower system, to the fire system. Okay, yeah, that
Exactly.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Like it activates an internal weapon that's already integrated inside the
And
bot itself.
if
So like a
not, then
special
just
weapon.
basically you
Yeah,
give it more
yeah.
weapons to work
Not
with from
about
there.
the internal weapon, as I already said. Why? Yet at least yet. Maybe we'll implement it.
But I think that would give it the pressure power that it needs without making it, you know, go broke just to, you know, balance it and then suddenly, oh, it's overpowered. It's slow. It can't really get around as fast as it would in its other mode. And you can still switch around so you can at least have placement. But during that time, you see how vulnerable the bully is now. It wouldn't really be able to do much in
Convin
comparison.
Cactus made the best suggestion ever. Bully needs a chainsword.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. His idea beats mine.
His idea beats everything we've said today. Actually, it could be on the Convin Cactus that came to the podcast without us all, including me, and told Battle of Titans needs some chainswords. But without jokes,
But like, do you understand what my point is? Is like its firepower could go up to like even a medium's
yeah,
firepower at most, and then it could probably utilize that in different ways that the other Titans can't, because
yeah,
that's
sure.
its role.
This one I understand. Yeah, Cairo, this one I understand. And also I will add a small thing about Convin Cactus suggestion. I personally love it. It won't be implemented for sure, but I personally, as the Berserk 40,000 with Warhammer 40,000, I love the chainsword. So, yeah. Um, okay, I will ask right now. I want to ask Rap about the bully. What do you think?
Yes, yes. So, bully same as others. I believe that bully needs a buff on armor, but at the same time, I feel its aesthetic design might need a change. As so we came to an agreement that it should be the heaviest one among all three knights we have so far, but it looks small. So yeah, when you look at it, it's definitely smaller than the knight, and it's about equal, the same size as a Sean. And with weapon, it looks much less because, well, Sean has two manglers on the side, which makes it bigger. So Bully, if Bully's armor is increased, and shouldn't it also have a larger body? So
Or we could say it's just scientific advancements that gave it special plating.
magical advancement.
Yep.
Well,
Easy development. I just saved Sergi so much time.
Okay, I wanted to make a joke about
But yeah, I get your
workouts and
point.
everything, but okay, we are doing some scientific terms. Okay.
okay. Another thing I also agree with is its role in the game. So if it's implemented to the current version or the new version, there's one thing that I'm concerned about is like this Titan doesn't attract people. It for us individuals, especially when we're just playing alone, we tend to think for ourselves first. We grind, stuff like that. But Bully, it doesn't give you much score. It only has one weapon, one EMP, and okay, that's it. So until somebody reaches like a higher trophy, or let's say they have a lot of more, like they are much more experienced, they might then start to buy a Bully and improve, like upgrade it. So it might not be attractive for some mid and low end players, as they prefer
Wait. So, okay, I understand the focus is that yes, it should definitely be able to get some decent scores, but there's this problem is
No,
very
I'm not
prominent
saying
with
it.
a lot of.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, the issue is there's a lot of setups that just do better because the AI act in a certain way, which is basically getting close enough around corners where manglers can hit them. I think if this game is going to be player focused in the future, and that's what they plan for, like genuinely, they just work on it to, focus on how it balances out with players involved. That's all.
That still for Bully is hard because
But
it has only
haven't
But
one
what I'm
weapon.
saying is
most
that
of you told that EMP is kind of overpowered in the means of scoring? Okay.
yes.
Okay, this is.
Eh,
I know that EMP now in the test server for scoring is not very adequate, but I can give a suggestion to fix this and improve Bully as it with EMP at the same time. So let's say that for every Titan enemy that is EMP'd, the damage it got would also add to score, add to the score.
See, how
player
does that
who
correlate to
EMP'd.
any mechanic that actually works with the Titan? That's just like how you said if it has more HP and armor, it should show more HP and armor. How does shocking something just make you stronger? Does it have something that just absorbs energy?
Well, I'm not. This is this is not making it stronger, but more attractive.
You
Same
gotta
that they
beautify it,
play.
Berserk. You gotta get the DJ skin for it.
I believe if I put my face
Well, it gets you more
on a
score.
Bully as a
That's
skin,
the
it will be
advantage.
more attractive.
I
Cairo,
don't know, man. I'm thinking about it.
You are walking on a very thin ice. I don't know.
I just-
Is not an answer here. Okay, no rap. I hear ya. I hear what you say. I really hear.
I do too. It makes sense on paper, but I don't know if it's like an easy way out, is what I'm saying. Because it feels like if it's supposed to have a role, then the role should be able to be adequate enough where it's able to be successful in its
Yeah,
specialization.
yeah. We will think about this, about the bully. The major thing we have done today is that we heard you. Yeah, and right now it is our time to take it to clean the data and think about it and to read about everything the guys in the chat said. Still, we are running out of time, and someone's child is telling it without even me saying anything because the child needs to be fed. And also, we have two small questions from the chat that we need to speak about. So it was Ace McQuaid who said, "What do you think about teens?" Anyone who can say about the scenes updated? Do you like them or not?
Yeah, I would say that the stings. I really like the new trajectory of the stings. And I like that it's pretty hard to dodge all of them, but it's pretty easy to dodge some of them. And that means that most of your shots won't connect with all of your stings or all of your missiles. So the result is that you end up doing not a lot of damage unless in like a few exceptional, really ideal circumstances. But like that rarely happens. And even in a Nelly with 4 stings and like equipped for max burst damage, it still doesn't feel like it gives enough damage actually. So I would really want some attention to that aspect of the stings. Like I would start with buffing its base damage 10% and then see how it affects the metagame, and then quite likely buffing it 10% again and keep doing it until you find a place where it's a viable choice and can compete against manglers and tormentors. Because as of it is of now on test servers, they're still like crap compared to tormentors and manglers.
Yeah, Chazalty, thank you. Okay, Dave, it will be you who will be the second. Carol will be the third.
As far as the stings, I really haven't gotten to play with them too much, so I can't really give any opinion on that. I was actually still thinking about the bully, and I was thinking about as far as the weapon, I would just say why not hide it like you do with the Martian Terps, and try and make it concealed to where it's kind of like integrated with the body armor instead of having a separate weapon armor, something along those lines. But I'm sorry to bring it back a step, so I'm going to shut up and let you guys continue with the stings.
No. It was good that you mentioned. Okay. So about the stings, you will need some more time to investigate the overall situation about them.
Yeah, I haven't used them
Gotcha.
enough.
That
I
can be
apologize.
called feedback in some way too. That you haven't played them. Okay, but then it is Cairo who will tell something about the stings.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Berserk, because I have an addiction problem with things on the test server. They're actually really, really fun because of the new arcs and the way they move around, especially on like the Light Nelly I've been rocking lately. It's just more enjoyable than it was before, and it brings me back to when it was pretty balanced before, where it was deadly once you got close enough and you couldn't really hit it because mites and Nellies would hide all the time with them, and how AI worked, it didn't look up or anything like that. But Salty pretty much nailed it on the spot. I do think the damage needs to go up 10% because when you hit that button, you should expect all the damage you can get because there's no way you're going to get another chance anytime soon. I mean, it's very hard to hit anyone who knows of your presence and is approaching you. If anything, there's there's a buffer. There's an area around you where you're vulnerable, and everyone has to remember if you're not protecting it and you don't have a team around you, those situations, you're done. You're gone. There's no way you're going to stop it. It's going to come after you. It's going to focus you. You might as well switch. So the damage is the most important for that thing because people know how the trajectory works. They know how to dodge it. It should be used as something that not only catch people by surprise, but it's like the nuke button basically. You hit somebody with it and it does major damage. And it's the same thing goes to other weapons. It's not like the other weapons just do really bad damage or anything. They all do substantial weapon damage. Like, Mangler gets close to you, you're done. Turrets can hit you with Inquisitor. But the stings, like everyone's been saying, it's not doing enough where you feel like you're so vulnerable that you have to run away from it, or you have to move yourself in a way that makes you feel threatened, or like this is going to be your major problem. It's been a problem before, but they changed it where the reload got slower. And I don't know why they changed it in that way. I think they should just focus on making it damage and not think like speed or more shots or anything like that, because as it is, it's already pretty overwhelming in that regard. It's just not doing enough punch
Ah,
for,
okay,
what
okay.
it's delivering.
Gotcha. Thank you. Maxi?
Um, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm pretty much like Dr. Abel. I haven't used that too much. But yeah, I mean, in the aspect that I have definitely have given some thought about it from what I have seen, maybe the chances that I had, maybe watching Salty using it, Caro using it, and other players using it. Yeah, I feel like it definitely needs some buffing damage. Because it's definitely like what Kara said. Once you know where the enemy land Nelly is, uh, you pretty much have two choices. It depends on which titan you have. Either you get away from his range and then kind of force him to just expose himself a little bit more, so then it's easier for you to get to destroy him. Or if you have a light titan with you, you pretty much go after him and catch him. Now, my concern is at the same time because that's that's one point that I've been seeing for, let's say, like American server and European server. But at the same time, I've also had the opportunity to go to the Asian server, and in the Asian server, that's something that kind of has surprised me is that I have seen some really good pilots with the Nelly State. And that actually then brings me to the question to how further they can buff these things that doesn't end up becoming
Mm-hmm.
overpowered then. And that's kind of like a very uh, it's a very delicate line between not being viable right now maybe to then all of a sudden becoming
Yeah, that
overpowered
is always
because
about
like I said
this
before.
question. That is always about this question.
Did you just say
Yeah,
delegated? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I did say that.
He did.
But you understand my point. Is so yeah. I mean, I definitely can agree that when it comes to the North American server and European server, it's a weapon that pretty much is not being used. But in the Asian server, it has really surprised me of how well some players can actually use it very effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Asian server is full of those players with Nelly Stains. I'm saying that I have had the experience of encountering players with Nelly Stains that are very effective with
Mm-hmm.
those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay then. Thank you, Maxi. So putting it all to the paper. Then we have Rap, the last person, but not the least, to say his idea about the teens. So, Rap, do you like them?
He had to leave. He said
Oh,
that in the
okay,
Discord chat. He had to go.
that's okay. So I believe that is it. We have already exceeded the time limit we have planned. So yeah, um, thank you very much No, wait. No thank to you. Okay, no joking. Let's first read.
Jesus Christ! What?
Let's
What
first.
happened? We have bipolar problem we need to talk about?
What'd I do to you?
Okay, maybe change the bullet design so that one side, left or right, of the Titan body covers the gun. I would LJJ 1300. You, if it's possible, make a small concept of it and send it to me in the Discord. I will love to see it. How do you think it will be? It may be implemented. CVFS. I hope to start the clan function as soon as possible. I hope that the clans can launch various battle. Yeah. So it will be implemented this year. So obviously not this, and not at the end of it. Not at the end of it. So yeah, we will see it soon, quite soon. So right now I'm thanking all of you, and I request the chat to say claps to the guys who have been talking with me and answering your questions in the chat and vocally both. Thank you, Salty, Cairo, Maxi, Doctor Evil, Rap, Pat, Hyperion, of course. Although he had to depart quite soon. And I request you guys clap to the guys in the chat because they did some great job talking with us, asking questions, and adding their own suggestions. That were actually cool. So yeah, that is to all of you guys. That is.
and and to your host, Berserk 40,000, guys.
Blush.
DJ host.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much too. Okay, guys. Thanks for your time, for your efforts. We did some great job. In a day, we will be talking with the Russian community. We'll have a community table in Russian, so better learn Russian right now. Uh, yeah, because I will spoil something in there. Joking. Joking. I will spoil the same things I did today. Yeah. So, okay.
He's really not joking.
Okay. So, thanks again. Goodbye. And see ya on the battlefields, guys. See ya on the battlefields. Bye.